Evet. Herkese selam bir daha. Demek çoxunuz artıq mən tanıyırsınız yəqin ki, Toğrul Adana Universitetinin tələbəsiyəm, 3-cü kursu kompüter elmləri. Burada da keçən il Milan Konqresində iştirak etmişdim və artıq ilk tur olaraq davam edirəm. Və biz fikirləşdik belə milli elmi komandaya dəstək olaraq bir kurs silsiləsi düzəldik, hansı ki, məqalə yazmaqda və çıxış eləməkdə sizə kömək eləsin ümumi olaraq. Hansı ki, biz universitet tərkibimizdə çoxumuz yazır əslində, ingilis dil oxuyanlarımız da var. Hansı ki, esselər yazır və s. Amma bunların əslində heç biri şey deyil, sözgün. Akademik məqalə statusunu alabileceği qədər akademik və rəsmi bir yazı forması deyil. Və bu səbəbdən də bu rəsmi onu biraz daha öyrənəcək ki, essenin, bizim yazdığımız normal esseləri necə daha gözəl bir qrammatika və belə deyək də söz oxucuyla ingiliscə yaza bilərik və bunu danışa bilərik. Ona görə də dərslərimiz tamamilə ingiliscə keçəcək əslində, hələ Azərbaycanca danışdığıma baxmayın. Lakin çətin hissi oldu, yəni divan yazmışdım sonra. Yəni, heç bir problem yox, Azərbaycanca soruşa bilərsiniz, sonra Azərbaycanca cavablayacaq, heç bir problem yoxdur. Amma bacardığınız qədər özümüzə sıxaq ki, və siz ingiliscə danışaq. Çünki bir şey fikirləşməyək ki, məqaləni yazdım, getdim, çıxış elədim, qutardı. Ümumən də bu bizə kömək edə bilər ki, əslində biz danışığımızı inkişaf elətdirək, ümumi belə reading, listening bacarıqlarımızı inkişaf elətdirək deyə düşünürəm. Və burada biraz daha sinif verdiğim ortamı değil, biraz daha dost çevresi kimi düşünüyorum. Elə ona görə bir çox oyunlarımız olacaq ki, birbirimizdən tanış olar və daha yaxşı tanıyaq birbirimizi yaxından ki, əylənərək birbirimizdən sıxılmadan danışar geçsin də, danışar yazar və s. bolca əylənəcəyimizi düşünürəm. Dərslərimiz 6 həftə olacaq. Deyil. Dərslərimiz 6 həftə olacaq ümumilikdə, hər ikisi. Aspirasyon və public speaking olaraq geçəcək. Hər gün ikinci, dördüncü gündə 11'də başlayırıq, 12.30'a qədər writing gedir. 12.40'a qədər gedəcək, çünki mən geç başladı biraz. Diğeri ki, birdən 2.30'a qədər davam edib bitirəcəyik günlük olaraq. Ev tapşırıqlarımız olacaq, lakin onlarla belə deyim, maraqlı ev tapşırıqlar olacaq. Yəni, yazı biraz akademik writing də olacaq. Çünki onun üzərində işləməliyik. Public speaking hissəsi çox da maraqlı olacaq, digər dərslər haqqında danışacaq onu. Və writing hissəsində biz nəyi planlamışdırmışıq sizlərlə? Əslində, keçən dəfə meetingdə də demişdik biraz. Siz artıq bu kursu bitirdikdə belə deyim, məqalənizin demək olaraq template sizin əlinizdə hazır olmasıdır. Yəni, tutaq ki, necə gedəcək? Birinci həftə iteratiyon yazacaqsınız, ikinci həftə metodologiyanı yazacaqsınız, üçüncü həftə tutaq ki, discussion yazacaqsınız və bu belə gedib. Axırda artıq full paper olaraq davam edəcək və artıq ondan sonra bizim meetinglərimiz olacaq, şəxsi də ola bilər və ya yeni qrupla da ola bilər ki, discuss edib məqaləmizi hazırlayıb və göndərək etsin, sonra da gedib sinməkdə çıxışımızı eləyək. İstəsən artıq ingiliscə çevirilər və hətta bir oyunla başlaya bilərik. So, it's our first class and it is writing. Now, by the way, I will try to talk as slow as possible, but if you don't understand anything or something, just ask, don't hesitate. So, you have pens and papers in front of you, all of you, and here, let's imagine like why do we think like what's academic writing and why it's different from the general English speaking that we use in our daily life, we write to our friends and etc. Before answering that question, let's understand by ourselves that I will give you some random, let's say, prompts, like choose one. Choose 3 of them actually. Can you compare like we have 3 groups? Please. 3 of them, please. 3 of them. So, in front of us we have some, let's say, sentences, and they are kind of informal. You will see them. So let's try to fix them in a way that they will be more formal and like more academic and more, let's say, professional. So you have 5 minutes for that, let's say. Let's do it and then discuss. Here. You can write down. Actually, you should write down. By the way, you can work with groups. It's not individual.
Can I write something in this?
What?
Can I write something in this?
You need to paraphrase it. And
yeah, I know. For example, choosing some words.
Oh, of course. Okay. Do whatever you want. What do you think is formulated? By the way, I want to mention something which, when I went to ADA, actually I learned English mostly by myself, by watching and like reading and etc. The problem was I was so like shy and hesitated, like, oh no, like they are like so like there were so much people that went to English schools, international schools, and etc. I was like, oh, I don't know English. It will be so hard for me to maintain. And at ADA we have 3 main lessons about English, which is academic writing 1 and 2, which is like not 6 weeks, it's 15, so overall 30 weeks curriculum, and where we write like full academic papers, and we write in class. Some of them we write them in the class and without any help, like just pen and paper and nothing else. So I was so like, oh no, I will fail from this class. I will not fail from the calculus 2 or like mathematics, but I will fail from these classes. I was so shy, I didn't talk much, and then I saw that people do simple mistakes too. Like, and I started to continue to talk, and ask so many questions to instructors. And at the end, what happened? I passed all the 3 classes with A and A minus. Only public speaking was A minus, but writings were A's. So it's like more than 95%, 94%. Yeah, and so don't be shy. Like there is nothing wrong, like, and there is no wrong and no right answers. It's like language, and you can manipulate, and you can emphasize whatever you want and however you want. So let's go and share our sentences. Do you want to start first? So first, please tell the previous sentence. What was that, and then your interpretation.
The previous sentence is social media is cool, but also kind of dangerous sometimes. The right what I wrote. Although social media is useful, which in turn it can commit hazards sometimes.
Nice. And the usage of all the ways. Amazing. Good job.
Nowadays, people are always on their phones, and that's bad. People are often not guided by their phones, and it has a bad effect on them.
Great. Maybe in the future we can change on the verb bad to something else to make it like more formal. We will learn that. No worries. What about you?
Everyone knows pollution is bad. Most people know pollution is determined theory.
Yes. Really good. What about you guys?
So first one is, in my opinion, this research is better than the others. Yeah, we change it to.
And let's listen to each other to like learn something else from others.
So our first sentence is, in my opinion, this research is better than the others. So we change it to, from my aspect, this research has more advantages compared to others.
The results were pretty good, I guess. The results were impressive.
Great.
I think this topic is really cool. This topic is incredibly interesting.
Exactly. Good job. What about you? We have an essay here. So, go ahead.
Our sentence is about, this article talks about some stuff that's kind of related to science. So I've pointed to scientific research. For example, scientific research has an emerging impact in today's technology. To get an enormous improvement, research-based articles should be developed and new ideas should come into reality. I can continue, but they are really cool.
Oh, yeah. I think, by the way, it's great. My writing is great, but you understood it, I guess, wrong. We was going to like make it more formal, only the sentence.
Oh.
We didn't add something. We just was changing this sentence only. It's okay. It was amazing. Not very. You?
Kids these days are super lazy when it comes to school. Kids these days are super lazy because technology development weaken them. That's where artificial intelligence are useful, but they solve all problems with artificial intelligence. It causes to lose mental skills.
Again, the formality is great, great writing, but it was not what we asked for. We was like change that sentence. But it's good. It's pretty good actually. What about you?
I also write about this.
Okay, read it again. If you want, like, always.
Scientific paper always related to the science research. Author use these papers for writing competently our papers.
Nice. So that's why it took long. So no worries. So it was great, and you will actually, I believe, and I hope you feel the difference at the end of not this day, but course that you will just completely change your things mostly, but they will so good actually the sentences too, and it will be more formal, better, and more academic. It was actually very impressive. Like, I really liked them. Before going through the syllabus, let's meet each other. We didn't have a chance to. So let's do what? Your name, surname, not surname actually, like your name and university, and one fun fact about you.
I'm Amil, and I'm working as a DevOps engineer. And by the way, I'm studying a master's degree in cybersecurity. I have a little bit broad interest in technology, for example, artificial intelligence and connection with cybersecurity, and also programming and etc.
Great. Fun fact about you? Just random, some fun fact.
Correct, I don't know.
Okay. What about you? Okay.
My name is Zahra, and I'm studying at National Aviation Academy as a computer engineer. In my free times, I prefer coding, or I'm interested in some unmanned aerial vehicles, and that's all.
Oh, nice. Which languages are you using? Pascal, C, C#?
C++, and sometimes C#.
Oh, nice. Good luck. What about you?
I'm Murat. I'm just studying Azerbaijan State Industrial University, and I'm currently second course actually, student in mechatronics and robotics engineer. I have lots of projects about cybersecurity right now, and for now, and I was the project it's about how can we detect risks actually with anomaly detection on the wire track. Then I have lots of project. I have lots of actually abroad project, foreign project, which will be held in September in Germany. That's all.
Nice. I love workshop. It's very good, smooth, and it's like it's good.
My name is Erdogan. I also study at Azerbaijan State Industrial University. I'm a computer engineer in Sabah groups, and I'm like back-end developer, not working, like just learning it, and that's it.
Nice. What about you?
I'm Bakhtiar. My name is Bakhtiar.
Nice to meet you twice.
I'm studying at Baku State University in Sabah. My profession is computer science, also computer science.
Yes. Nice.
I'm junior, and I learn data science and data analytics.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Nice. What about you?
Hello, my name is Kamal. I'm currently studying at Azerbaijan State University, computer engineer Sabah groups. So I want to tell one fact about myself. I am the fastest keyboard writer and coder that you can see.
Oh,
That's all.
really good.
My name is Nabila. I study at Azerbaijan State Industrial and Oil and Industry University. I'm currently studying processing automation engineering at Sabah Groups. I would like to work in the field of artificial intelligence, and my project, my article about have artificial intelligence tools there, and that's all.
Nice. And lastly?
I'm Ella. I study at UNE in Sabah Groups. My subject is accounting. But actually, I decided to change my subject. Yeah, I'm working everything. That's why.
Nice. You do good luck.
My name is Nina. I'm 20. I studied at Azerbaijan University. I want to go to Germany. My paper about the resistance-based exercise solution to contract a car.
Nice. What was your name again?
Zeynep.
Zeynep. Nice to meet you guys. And I'm Tongul, as you know, and I'm a computer science student. And as a fun fact, I love technology too much to like. I'm very broad. I do like networking, Wireshark, and like Cisco, and etc. I also do like microprocessor programming, and I say like it's so broad. And I also love to solve Rubik's cube. And yes, by the way, after that when we talk, like we are so new here, so when you talk, when you ask question or when you answer the question, please mention your name first. Like first few days, like because let's get to know each other names. Like for me and for you guys too. Like we know each other better. So now little bit boring part, but it will be quick, I promise. Let's see if it works. It's our syllabus for this course. Before that, like our content that what we will do. We will work on Google Classroom, where I believe most of you know that let's say platform. We will join that. I will share the link with you soon. And there you will have like your assignments, your materials, even that syllabus is there. So yeah, let's start. So it's like basic information here. What's the So how to contact and how to ask our questions and etc. out of the, let's say, class time. So we will make one practice at a university which I really like, where instead of asking your question to only today's instructor, if, for example, I will answer or any instructor will answer, but it will be between you and me. And most of the time, what question you have, like we are all kind of at the same capacity, at the same like education level, etc. So that's why if you have one question, most probably someone else also will have that same question. Because it means that maybe I didn't explain something very well that you didn't guys understand, or something happened in this communication that you didn't get it. So that's why we have a discussion mode that unless it's not private something, if it's private you can just directly text me and we can discuss about it. But unless it's not private and it's about the course overall, you can just post your questions there and not only will benefit from the answers, but all other students will benefit. So that's why please check if the same question has been asked before like posting your question. Maybe someone else asked that he or she got their answers. And for urgent personal issues, like you can email or write. Email would be better because like I have too many messages in my let's say WhatsApp, like 50 nation team and all. Like, I have other class and etc. too. So that's why unfortunately it's a little bit less reliable that I can miss that. But Gmail I am checking it so like frequently, and also like if it's so urgent that it reply, we can write from WhatsApp. It's completely okay. So I sometimes may reply late because like it's my part-time job and like there are too many things that I am doing right now. So prerequisites are B1 English, and you will need some computer skills and critical skills, thinking skills. So we already talked about course objective and what I'm going to do, and actually your like outcomes. Let's see them actually. So you will be able to learn the difference between academic and non-academic writing. Use critical non-biased approach in research papers. It's a very important part which is non-biased because we all have bias, believe me. And like you will be able to conduct research in specific field. You'll know how to use citation tools and methods. And you will be able to create an annotated bibliography and synthesis matrix that we will come soon or tell them. And it's really interesting and helps your research paper to develop like faster than ever it can. And then you will develop your research paper until the end of this let's say lessons, and you can also use that skills for other competitions or like conferences or congresses. So we will use theoretical and practice, and it will be mostly interactive as you saw actually. So in course materials, I will share with you PowerPoint slides, academic papers, writing style guidelines, some resources I will share with you, and research articles I will share with you, and some videos and video content, readings and video content can come. Work is something like how much time do you need to work after the class. It's like 3 to 5 hours per week, which I believe you can manage. And yeah, that's it for that. So we will provide certificate, and for eligibility for the certificate is 75% minimum. And what's that 75%? Like out of the 100, you need to get at least 75. We have class participation. where we will have this activities. For example, we had one activity in first, and we will have another one if we have time at the end. And this, both of them will give you 1 point to all of you guys as a participation point. We have academic paragraph. You will write a short academic paragraph that we will get through that. Like you will use some tools, we will use some citations and etc., which will give you 10% alone. We will have citation exercises, like you will cite if you use some sources, how will you mention them to avoid the plagiarism and, let's say, this type of errors. We will have annotated bibliography and synthesis matrix. What are these two? Let me explain them shortly. So, as we know, we all are capable of writing literature review papers right now. Because if we are actually writing it inside for a space industry, where we don't have money, time, and opportunities to go to some NASA laboratory or Azercosmos, let's say, communication centers and do some research here and get some quantitative data directly from the, let's say, telescope or some type of a stethoscope or something else that we can see and we can write and we can analyze. So that's why I believe we most do literature review. And what is literature review? We are using other research papers and we are putting them together and adding our own ideas and getting some type of paper at the end. I also did that and I'm also doing that this year. So for that, we will use too many papers and we will read too many papers. For example, as far as I remember, I had more than 35 citations and I will read more than 40 papers. And it gets out of the hand after some point. So that's why whatever you read, it's kind of not like thing, like you, let's say, practically note, for example, the name of the author, name of the paper, and what's your notes about this paper. And then synthesis matrix is more about the topics that you will use, that we will come to that. And it helps you what? You will read along the way too many papers, but you won't use all of them at the end of the day. So that's why at the end you will just have a chance to cross them over and decide whatever you want to use or whatever you don't want to use, and it helps too much. We have literature review draft, which is one of the most important things and one of the most important parts of our research papers that we are going to write, which is in general about the, let's say, literature review analysis that we've done. We have done doing writing our research paper, and at the end we have research paper draft, where we will write all of them together, and it will include discussion, introduction, etc. together, and it will be 25%. And also we have attendance. So we have one attendance policy, which is it gives 5%, and if you don't come, this is from 5%. And if you don't come for 5 times, you automatically fail from the class, unfortunately, and you won't be able to get a certificate. And after that, if final grades are short of 1%, for example you get 74, I will automatically increase it to 75. But any other phone calls or asking to increase on something, unfortunately we won't do it. Because it's not fair, let's say, it's not being ethical fully, unfortunately. So we have late submission policy that we will have some submissions along the way. So late submissions will be penalized if they are up to 1 hour late. So you submitted, for example, the deadline is 12 and you submitted, you forgot and you submitted at 1 a.m. and it's not a big problem, it will only penalize 5%. But if you don't, let's say, submit it for 1 day, 1 full day after 1 hour, it will be penalized 20% by each day, and after 4 days it will be useless to submit anyways, 5 days after this. So we will check all submissions with plagiarism checkers and AI detectors, and while we do that, I don't think we will have a problem with that here, and we are just learning, and it's not some type of conference that you need to, let's say, prove yourself to us, oh, I know English, I'm really good, and etc. Just use your knowledge and use your, let's say, Azerbaijan kabiliyet, let's say, and be yourself and try to learn as much as possible. There is no need to get something. I will actually explain how to use ChatGPT and other tools to get some, let's say, phrases and words out of them that will not be plagiarism, but it will give you some more academic and formal, not sentences, but words to use. So that's why, relax, no one is judging you that hardly and etc. So just go ahead. So what's our lesson plan? And by the way, we can, in case of something extremely, let's say difficult happens, we can change some things on the syllabus and like lesson plan, etc. And what are we going to do? Week 1, we're going to learn foundations of academic writing, what's it, what type of academic writings are there, what's important, and etc. Second week is research article structure and components. What's a research paper, what's its structure, and what are we going to do with that structure actually. Third week is actually going to be ethics, citations, research tools, and final revisions, where like how to use research tools, how to cite. Maybe this one and this one will change citation will come here in the future. I am not sure. Maybe you can squeeze it in. And how to like proofreading and etc. In first week, we will start to craft our introduction and literature review, and you will submit them along the way, and we will grade them. And fifth week, our methodology, results, and discussion and conclusion. And at that time, we will finish our research paper actually. And lastly, we will have revision and instructor review that we will come here and we will discuss the details of research paper, etc. And you will be able to finalize and submit your research paper. That's it from our syllabus. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Will you share the syllabus with us?
Yeah, we have a Google Classroom, and you will just be able to get into. I'm sure I can share Google Classroom. I will share Google Classroom link right after. So here we go. It's our classroom. Here is our syllabus. We have some tasks. It's their public training, like where you will add your let's say questions. And we have some assignments here. He will did that. Anyways, so let me see if we're going to plan. Yes, we did that. Okay, we can start. So, who has a background in writing before? Like, who wrote research papers, maybe something? You wrote dissertation, yes? Or we are going to write dissertation for master's degree?
Yes, I will do it, but currently they didn't give any subject, so maybe I will do on my own, or maybe I will use my current topic, which will be used in AIC.
Ah, nice. Really good. Good luck. So, effective writing for research papers. What's that at all? So, what three things comes to your mind when you hear academic writing?
Structure.
Your name and the present.
Jargon.
Structure. Yes. What else? Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Just feel free.
We have to mention keywords.
Yeah. Whatever you want. But three things that comes to your mind when you references. What was your name? What?
I think use some parasite words. Like and so
Yes, exactly. Slangs and this type of words. We
yes.
cannot use them. Yeah. And do you have any other additions?
But they are out of terms.
Yes. A lot of terminology, but we need to be careful about that. A lot of them makes reader to feel like, oh, I'm stupid, and less of them makes not academic. Unfortunately, like there are sentences review, but like only like terminology that they're like, oh, I'm stupid, and I don't understand that. So we need to find the limit. So what are you writing? It's me and my old friends at ADA. What are you doing at some of the day? Writing content. Or like, and it will be you also when you write your introduction and papers. But you are just staring at the screen. No, I'm writing the content. So you will have times, I had times, just one sentence, one paragraph that you have it in mind in Azerbaijan as an idea, but you want to write it, but you don't know how. So you stare, and saying, and this is like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and after that, wow, something came, and you continue to write. Unfortunately, it is the, let's say, that the old people who write content or something. So, why is writing so important? If writing disappears tomorrow, what will happen? What do you think? So we took all writing from the world, there is no writing. What will happen?
For example, currently some people are good at speaking, but some of them may be good at writing. So if writing would be disappeared, they couldn't explain themselves or maybe.
Exactly. Thank you so much. What else? Okay. Let's see. What do we have? No writing means no books, no labs, and actually no internet. Because like 90% of the, like today it's not, but you know, at once it was like mostly written content, but still it cannot be used without some text in it. And we cannot code if there is no writing, so we cannot have softwares, we cannot have algorithms or anything in our hands. So the importance of writing. Writing stories, knowledge, which makes history. And you will actually have one video which talks about the importance of writing in one's story. So what's that? So you all know Herodot, who wrote the history of the world. And if there was no language, if there was no writing, we wouldn't have seen Herodot, Nietzsche, Kafka, or like some great philosophers, historians. And actually, that's why we know what the Ottoman Empire did back in the day, or what was like breaking of the German Wall. Like there was no videos and etc. Like, they just wrote and we read it. Or what is like Greek wars there were like there was so many like Greek wars. I forgot one of its names. So we know it because of this let's say history writing. Also, writing helps us to think better, to organize thoughts. So our brain is so good to generate ideas, to think, and to develop something on something. But there is one issue: we don't remember. We suck at remembering some stuff by heart. So by writing, noting it down in structure, you can just memorize, not memorize, but put your feelings, your thoughts, and your ideas to like some pen and paper that will last, maybe not forever, but for a long time, that you can come back and you can read and you can think about that stuff again more and more and more. And also, writing gives us a voice. I've been using social media, and not only social media, also all media actually, not in a networking way, in a way of, let's say, in Azerbaijan, like media, haberciliği vesaire, like marketing and etc., where you write and people read. Okay, in this era we don't read that much from social media, unfortunately, but still, as a political impact, as like newspaper things and etc., it's very impactful, and it has a power of changing the world. I don't know if you were there. I give an example at one of our mentoring programs that there was a guy, you know the toaster, yes, like normal toaster that we use at home to heat our breads. And there was one guy who was studying at the university, one of the American universities, I believe. His instructor said that when the instructor gave them a task, and he mentioned that please don't use Wikipedia because it's not reliable and you cannot trust that Wikipedia data. So use other articles and other, let's say, academic stuff, and maybe some journals and etc. And I will tell this thing to you that don't use Wikipedia. And the guy started to think like, what if, like, why it's not, let's say, reliable? Reliable means you can live daily. So that's why he went to Wikipedia. He changed the, let's say, finder of the toaster to his professor's name. So he manipulated to his professor or to himself's name. So he changed the name of the finder of the toaster. Toaster Wikipedia'nın adını öz adına veya profesörün adına değiştirdi. And then years passed, and whenever people started to talk about toaster in their books, articles, this name came appear as an inventor of a toaster. That's like some years, one like 13 years old boy found out that it's not a like real inventor. There is something wrong, and then the boy started. They closed his Wikipedia account. They like banned him from multiple places, and now he's anonymously trying to get over this vicdan azabı by like helping other people to write these Wikipedia pages, but trustworthy. So, and it was actually so shameful, like how many articles and how many research papers used that inventor of a, let's say, toaster from a Wikipedia source, and there was too many wrong books which was the wrong inventor of a toaster they talked about. So that's why it's very important. So, let's go a little bit deeper and let's actually start to brainstorm a little bit. Which one sounds more academic and why? We have two sentences. I think that this paper is really kind of important because it tells about an issue. And the second one, this paper presents an important analysis of the issue. Which one do you think is the
Second one.
But why?
Like we shouldn't use the words like I think. It's not formal.
Yes.
Also, kind of is not normal.
Yes.
Because the second one maintains accuracy.
Exactly. And it has a credibility. Credibility is a great word if you don't know about it. Güvenilirlik. It's very formidable and very good because it guarantees itself like we did some analysis, and analysis showcased that we have some important data on the issue. You had something like that on your one of your sentences, I believe, like the exercise one, if I don't remember wrong. So, how should your writing be? As actually you mentioned, it should be clear. Your writing should be easily understandable for the reader with a clear message. So in academic writing especially, so we are not writing literature, and we are not writing essays, we are not Montaigne, we are not Kafka or Nietzsche, and we are just writing academic papers, and unlike an art, like literature, we cannot let the reader to think and analyze something on their brains, like, oh, is it that or is it that? Like, you know these metaphors that artists use in the literature, like writers use, like, for example, the to be or not to be. Like, it is up to you, like, go and understand the reader, like, what did Shakespeare say? Like, what does he want to say? So that's why it should have a clear message. For example, the kettle is up. For example, the water is H2O, for example. It should be precise. We should avoid to use unnecessary words. So it's a common mistake. Actually, I also did it. So I was reading too many books in Turkish and Azerbaijani, and like unlike Azerbaijani and English, Turkish, they don't use long words. So we have şekilçiler, some additions at the end, so we can longer the sentence as much as we can. So you can just continue, you can just say ve and you can tell. Bilhassa, you can continue, and etc. So that's why I also have like this long like sentence which is like 70 like words long, which is like unreadable for a reader, that they will not understand anything. So it's better to cut it down and give me 3 sentences and cut some, let's say, useless data and words out of it, and it will be more precise and readable for the reader, that they will understand what you want to say. So, formal. You should avoid, as you mentioned, guys, slang words. You can sort of like, you cannot use some words that you use with your friends, like kinda, I'm gonna, and etc. Including, you cannot use this, let's say, kiçiltme. For example, if this I am, you should say I and am separately. You cannot use like apostrophe and then am. Well, can you read it? Is it readable from there? Okay. So you should write this I am. You cannot write can't. You should write cannot, because like it's not academic and it all these things, when you don't do it, decreases the value of your research paper when readers see it.
What's slang words?
What?
What's slang words?
Which word?
Slang.
Ana sözleri. Like you use with your friends, like aşı, genelde like isimler Azerbaycan that you use. So that's why you need to be like for like you cannot. I'm gonna go out with my friends, for example. You cannot use gonna. I will be gone by the end of the day, for example, with my friends out. So that's the same here. And if you don't use them, it increases your trustworthiness. It's also a good word. And professionalism. And also, you need to be objective. Again, we are not writers, we are not philosophers, and in a research paper, we cannot have our own thoughts. So, of course we can have, but the data is like the answer, not our thoughts. For example, in this shade, you can read and you can ask about existential questions to him and to yourself, and he will explain from his way, which can be right or wrong from your perspective. Like, you should not be 100% existentialist because you read Nietzsche. Yani herhangi bir yazarı okuyup şey olabilir de yani bu öz fikrini hissedemeye çalışıyor. Yani Kafka ne düşünürdü, Nietzsche ne düşünürdü. Belki siz onu okuyup onun gibi düşünmeye mecburiyetinde değilsiniz ve onun düşüncesi de doğru veya yanlış değil. Sadece bir insanın öz şahsi düşüncesi değil, ne fikirleşirse fikirleşir. Lakin research paper'larda biz bunu yiyebilmeliyiz. One of you guys, I don't know if they are here, I don't remember, specifically had this issue where I also had that one. So you think that before starting your research, you have an idea, and you assume that the results will be like that, like something. But at the end, you wrote and you analyze the data that you have, data set. At the end, the results came different than you wanted. So for example, it was going to say that, oh, I will do a formula and I will turn carbon to oxygen, that we will be able to maintain life on Mars. And then you did an analysis and you came out that you cannot do that. So you cannot manipulate this data and you cannot write what you want, which is oxygen on Mars. You can write that what you got, that we cannot produce oxygen on Mars by using carbon, let's say, for example. We need to be like 100% honest, and we need to be objective. What data gives us is what we say. Because here we are not sharing our source. It's not essay that we are writing. It's an academic paper. An academic paper stands on quantitative data, scilab data. So like that. So that's why we cannot use I think, I assume, I guess. We never use that words in our research papers. If it is essay, feel free. You can talk and write, but it's not essay, unfortunately. Be clear. So say what you mean. We actually talked about them, easy to understand, long complicated sentences, and deliver one clear idea. So by using one sentence, only try to deliver one idea, not multiple ideas. Again, we are not writers. We are writing something to be easily to be understandable by other readers. Maybe you had that one. For example, when you try to read English books, which has been written by philosophers or writers, we have struggles to understand because they use I will struggle. They use metaphors, they use slang words, they use old words, and etc. But when you read even the hardest and most mathematical article, besides the terminology, you won't understand it maybe, but you will understand each word because its aim is to be as easy as possible for the reader to understand at the end of the day. For example, that good example. Here, for example, wordiness and repetition, etc. Due to the fact that the temperature was low, the water in the bottle, which was left outside, underwent the process of freezing. Do you understand it? It's very long, and it looks academic, and it's academic, but it's not understandable. Okay, due to the fact the temperature was low, okay, temperature as the water in the bottle, which was left outside, underwent the process of freezing. Donma prosesinden akışından geçiyor. It's not good, but you can write that easier. Because the temperature was low, the water in the bottle froze. That's it. There is no need to add more and more words. Okay, it looks cool, but it's not understandable. No one will understand anything from that. Let's have some activity here. Students, here we go. We have two sentences. We need to fix the sentence. We have one of the issues that we discussed before here. So the reason why students fail is because they do not have the necessary ability to successfully complete the required academic tasks. Okay, one of you guys, what's the problem here and how can you solve it? Don't look at that yet, this is the next one. By the way, do I speak fast? Do you understand? Okay. If you have any problems, just mention, okay?
I think this sentence is so long. And
What's your name?
Zahra. For example, we remove the reason why.
Yes.
The students fail. Issue.
I think we can remove more things. Can we? Okay, this is the first one, that's what we can do.
We use so unnecessary words. We already know that there's a reason. Also, we already know that we already know that students will fail. So it will repeat these words again and again
Yes.
and use unnecessary things, for example.
What
Say-
did you do?
For example, can we say that students fail because
We can think that completes the required academic task.
Yes.
We can think it with pass the exams or like so.
we cannot do that actually because it doesn't talk about exams.
Also tasks.
Yes, but it doesn't talk about exams. So when we paraphrase a sentence, we cannot add something. We can only take out. So the message should be clear. And so,
First of all, we're not the reason why, that's extra, and also they don't have the necessary abilities, that's okay, but ability to successfully complete, that's extra.
exactly.
Required academic tasks,
We can do this whole thing here.
yes.
But they don't have
It
ability.
would be on assignment or tasks.
Yes, but students fail because they don't have ability to complete their tasks.
Yeah, we can remove the adjectives.
Yes, exactly. So we are like not writing again. So good job. What was your name? Again, we don't know. Okay, all they have for us to repetition. So students fail because they lack the necessary skills to complete academic tasks successfully. It is better, but still we can learn that one too. So be precise. Say what exactly you mean. So actually we talked about it again, like avoid verb words. It's one of the most important things here. So we cannot say like, think, stuff, some, a lot. You cannot say it was a huge event I really liked. For example, you came back and your university asks you some type of let's say report for like, okay, what did you do? What did you gain from the trip? You cannot say, oh, it was a really huge event, I really liked it, and etc. You need to talk with data. Like it was one of the most, let's say, biggest events of the Sydney, and like that. Not broad, not general words, just smaller, discrete, like ones and twos. Like be more specific, and it will make your writings more academic. So use specific and accurate words instead, as you said, and the reader should not have to guess what you mean. For example, like, what can I mean by that? It can be, for example, you say that a lot of people. Is it 10 people? For example, we are like, thank you, and it's a lot of people for that room. But if that room was like 100 squares, like more than 100 squares meters, it won't be a lot of people here, it will be just like little bit. So it depends on the like all the steps. So I will need to guess, how big was the event? How many people were there? So you need to be precise and write, for example, 100 people, or like that big.
For example, we're talking about the frequencies of the brain waves, for example, delta, theta, and waves. We have to talk about the fact.
Yes.
That's a fact. For
Exactly.
example, the frequencies of the delta waves is 4 hertz. That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a time. Again, we don't have to guess what you.
Exactly. It's completely nice. It's completely usable. So again, bad and good example. Many things happened in 20th century that changed the world. What many things? In 20th century, so many things happened. There was 2 world wars. There was the Berlin, German war, etc. And here you go. Wars and new technology changed the world in the 20th century. Why it matters? Because this thing and this thing are different. Because this one depends what are you writing. For example, you can change, if you are writing, for example, some medical research paper, you can say that in medicine and let's say surgeries. If you are writing some scientific thing, you can use that one. If you, for example, it is, I believe, historical perspective. I would write this sentence in a historical paper, like wars and new technology. But if you write about the, let's say, space-related thing, you will talk about Apollo landing, Gemini missions, for example. You will say that the NASA's success was one of the things that changed the world, for example. It really depends on the method, but here I need to guess, like, oh, what are you talking about? That it can be everything that changed the world. Here you go again, one small activity. Choose the better one many people use the internet for different things, and millions of people use the internet for education, work, and communication. Yes, it's easily understandable because again the same thing that we mentioned. Three things that we do: education, work, and communication. By the way, it's also for the public speaking. It's really good when you need to give an example. If it's a scientific example, you can use whatever you want. But in general, to be more impactful, three is so good. Like it sounds literally good. For example, that like only three examples is very impactful. Two of them will not be that impactful. Okay, education and work. Because sentence is not fulfilled at the end, kinda. But if when you use three of them, millions of people use the internet for education, work, and communication. It kind of fills the whole sentence, and it sounds and reads better. So again, be formal, writing like a professional. Again, avoid slang, constructions, and casual words that you use into daily life. Use full words instead of short. Cannot instead of can't, I am instead of am, and etc. Formal writing sounds professional and serious. It also increases your seriousness of your writing. I'm not checking if it Yes, it does. So here again, that and good example. I guess pollution is kind of bad for the environment. Again, like we cannot use kind. It's like casual word that you use with your friends. Pollution has a negative impact on the environment, and as we cannot say I guess. And again, activity, we write the sentence in a formal way. We are not going to write, but we are going to say. Lots of people think that social media is cool, but this also kind of dangerous sometimes. We have that sentence in one of the right way. Yes. What did you write as an improvement?
Also, social media is useful, which in turn it can commit hazard sometimes.
Exactly. But although is a great word here, we get got rid of this lots of people. Who cares about lots of people? What's lots of people? 5 people, 10 people, millions of people. Cool. Okay, but it's a day-to-day word, or like kinda. It's not good, and you change the dangers to hazardous. Yes. And it's very good actually change.
Can we decrease the room temperature?
Of course. Hazardous is actually a better word.
For example, as I used the which in term, can I use that? Which in term? Can I use the which in term?
Yes, which is also actually great great type of usage. So, be objective, use facts, not feelings. Again, actually I mentioned it that you cannot write what you feel. If you want to do that, like we can do writers, we can write poems together if you have time. I will try it, by the way. So, do not use personal opinions or emotions. Science doesn't care about your opinions or emotions. Use facts, research, and evidence to support arguments, and avoid words like I believe, I feel, I think, I am, and this type of words, because no one cares about you. I'm sorry guys, but in science, they care about what you did, not what you are. Of course, if they want to know you research LinkedIn, they ask questions and you become friends, but in general, it is more than what you wrote, than what you are. And unfortunately, there's a huge science community that manipulates the data, and they tell whatever they want to tell, and it hurts the whole science and it damages everyone. Because, for example, let's give an example. Actually, I gave this example to that person who had different results. It was you, yes? Like you had different results that you thought. You thought you would get different results, and after analysis, you got another result in your research paper.
You didn't complete it.
So anyways, for example, let's say that I'm writing a research paper, and I get this oxygen thing, for example. I think that, for example, I can change silicium to the oxygen on Mars, and I got a research paper, and I got the data, and I saw that, no, I cannot change silicium to the oxygen. But I want a reputation, I want to get some awards maybe, I want to be famous and like love person. So that's why I'm manipulating the the data, and I am saying that, no guys, you can change. I'm writing the formula in the paper again, but I am using the wrong data to show that, guys, we can use silicium to turn into the oxygen whenever we want to get an oxygen in Mars. Then what happens? You, for example, are going to write, you are just a student, you are going to write your first academic paper, and you come up with my, let's say, idea. And then, oh, maybe we can make a device. I was talking about a chemical reaction, and you think about, let's say, device. And you wrote paper, based on my research paper, that you will create some type of technological device that will convert silicium to oxygen, based on my formulas and etc., which is wrong and lie. What science community got? 2 papers, and one paper got inspiration from another paper and got citation, which is, both of them are wrong, and it is like wrong lie, and she wrote, and she believes in that, she will be a teacher in the future, and she will tell them, for example, her students, and it will continue, and will go to all, let's say, science, let's say, experiments. So, and that's why we need to be as honest as possible. For example, during I was writing my research paper, for example, I found one fact. I'm a little bit paranoid, and that's thinking, I don't know that. So I saw one fact, and I found that fact, where does it come from? I go to the data, I found, but I'm doing cross-checking, like, that data should be supported by 3 other things. Like, there was too many articles that I didn't use, even if they had like great information, because it wasn't supported by good evidence like that in the background, and I don't think I should use it. So again, here is, whenever you have any questions, whenever you have questions, just raise your hand and ask. Again, another good example, I believe online learning is better than classroom learning, or studies show that online learning can be as effective as classroom learning. So you cannot say that, like, you can say if you're talking to your friend, but in an academic environment, you cannot never actually say that. Academically, I feel that video games are bad for kids because they make them lazy. What's wrong with that sentence?
I feel that.
Exactly. And actually, like, you, and we know it's wrong. Like, because of the scientific papers, actually, online games improving their eye and movement stability, they improve their critical thinking, decision making, and etc., which can be proven false immediately by some academic and research background. And you can say, oh no, this writer said that, so that's why you cannot say that they are bad for kids. We come one of the most interesting and important part, common mistakes on academic writing. Hopefully we will have enough time for that. So, 3 main problems which makes hard to read for readers. First of them is wordiness that we already talked about, like too many words that are useless, passive voice, and redundancy. So, we will come up to these 2 guys, and let's go one by one. We said actually redundancy. Wordiness happens when we use too many words to say something simple. It makes writing long and unclear, and good academic writing is short and direct. For example, the fact that students do not prepare in advance, they often fail their exams. It has even rhyme, like advanced exams is going to be a poem in the future. But here, because the students do not prepare, they fail. That's simple. And common unnecessary words for better alternatives. For example, due to the fact you can use because. In order to, you can use just to. At this point in time, you can use just now. Or like, it's important to note that, just note that. And why do you say it's important to note that? And avoid passive voice and use active voice. I believe you know what's the And passive voice makes writing weak and unclear. And active voice is stronger and more direct. In active voice, the subject does the action, not something else. And in passive voice, the subject receives the action. For example, the report was written by the student. It's like natural of Azerbaijan. We don't need that. The student wrote the report. Like, we need to be more direct, like, kapı açılmıştı. No, kapı açıldı by someone. And by that case, makes us better, more credible, and more academic. How to identify identify passive voice. Look for words where is or by, these are often passive words, and ask who is doing the action. If it is unclear, the sentence is maybe passive. Like we need to ask who is the one who is doing the action. For example, the robot is going, for example. The robot is doing, for example. If it's not, it's alright. But if it's not like that, it's passive voice and you need to change it to the active voice. For example, change to active voice. Let's do a small exercise. The decision was made by the committee.
Committee made decision.
Exactly. The experiment was conducted by the scientist. Exactly, shorter, simpler, and even more credible. Avoid redundancy, say it once. It is also one of the loopholes we go into, because most of the time I also have this one. We think that we have a great idea, and we wanna show the video, see what I have. I think I'm clever and I know what I'm doing. So that's why you're using the same idea over and over and over again along your way and in your research paper, and you use not the same sentence, I don't understand the word, but the same idea. Like, for example, video oxygen from silicium, and then 5 sentences later, oh guys, you know, we did silicium, for example. It goes like that. So, redundancy means repeating the same information unnecessarily, and it can happen a sentence, between the sentences, and the whole paragraph. So you can be redundant in one sentence, in between 2 sentences, and the whole paragraph or article that we don't want. Good academic writing is concise and to the direct, to the point. For example, the sentence level redundancy. Like we have redundancy in one sentence, inside of one sentence. The reason why students fail is because they do not study. What's the redundancy here?
There is a why.
What?
There is a why that's extra.
Excuse me?
There is a why that's extra.
Yes, it's extra. And because they do not study. It's already a reason, like why you mentioned that the reason is. So like students fail because they do not study. And you can use just one reason. And here, for example, the reason why is because the reason is, in my personal opinion, we don't use it, by the way. So a total of 10 students, 10 just say like, 10 students is a total of 10 students. Yani 10 tələbə, 10 tələbə demək olar deyək. And redundancy between sentences. Many students struggle with time management. Managing time well is an important skill for students, but many find it difficult. A lot of time management can lead to stress and poor academic performance. Poor scheduling and ineffective time planning often cause students to feel overwhelmed. Okay, it's a little bit too extreme example. You won't see that one, but I wanted to show it to you. Like, if all the sentences say the exact same thing. Because you can say that many students struggle with time management, which can lead to stress and poor academic performance. Poor planning makes them feel overwhelmed, affecting their ability to focus on their studies. Simple and shorter and not overwhelming. Like, if you read that, you will be overwhelmed like in 2 minutes. And in the paragraph, like, the internet has changed how people communicate. Today, many people send messages online instead of talking in person. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter allow users to stay connected with friends. Because of the internet, people don't have to meet face-to-face to talk. The rise of instant messaging apps has also made communication faster. Here we see another thing. Instead of repeating back in the back, we have one great sentence here. Like, here, for example, they use text messages instead of one-to-one person meetings. And then after a few sentences, it mentions Twitter and etc. It mentions again, like, they don't have to face-to-face talk. So that's why we don't need that, and we can be a little bit more concise by saying that the internet has transformed communication, making instant messaging and social media more popular than face-to-face conversations, and you won't mention it again. And we can actually pass that because of the time. Let's play, but with that one because it's kind of important. But I believe you got the logic. If you have time, we will do that. And we have a game I want to play with you. So, not all academic writing is the same. What do I mean? Academic writing is not just about essays. We already know that. And different types of writing are used for different purposes. For example, we have essays, reports, and research articles. Essays are argument-based, structured writing. So it's for your work, your structure, etc. that you have not solved, and you want to emphasize that so that your work, for example, your supervisor will increase your, let's say, salary, for example. Reports are factual with sections and headings, like it's not a research paper, but it is analysis of some data that is useful for you, for your company, or for wherever you go. And the research articles, formal, based on studies and experiments or evidence that we are going to do. So essays, you have your opinion, but of course backed by evidence. You cannot just say that Gata is Gaga. You need to prove it why Gata is Gaga. So present an argument or a viewpoint, have a clear structure, and use evidence, facts, examples, some metaphors, maybe, and etc. Reports are organized, focus on facts, not opinions, use headings and sections, and often include tables, charts, some diagrams, and graphs. And the most important part, the articles, which are well structured and based on research experiments, studies, and literature review, and includes citation and references to other researchers and their work that increase their credibility. For example, for research article structure, we are not going to do other stuff because we don't have that much time as a course, and we are going to focus on this academic writing and research article type. We have abstract, which you already wrote, a summary of the whole paper, and abstract also have its own structure. We mentioned actually we have some online videos about that. We have introduction, what is your research about? We have methodology, how was the research done? How did you do your research? What did you use? What did you do? How do you know what do you know?
What's your approach?
What?
What's your approach?
Yes, exactly, that's your approach. And then results, what did the research find? And then discussion. Discussion is what do the results mean. Here you can actually use your ideas and you can interpret the results to whatever you want. For example, because the katılım olması can be because of different reasons. And because of your, let's say, evidence, you can say that it was black because there was no light. You can say it was black because something else got into it and made it black or something else. And conclusion, what the final takeaway, which we will analyze more. So, one fun thing, which is question of the week. We will have question of the week, and you will have some short paragraph. You will write it at home, not here. I will share the question of the week in your Google Classroom, and you are expected to write 150 to 200 word paragraph. Please don't use ChatGPT or other resources. Write it yourself. And do we write the way we think? Or does writing change how we think? Just brainstorm it. You can talk to your friends, groups, and add that at the end. So, before going away, we have one more, let's say, activity, which is a little bit longer than the other one. Again, we are rewriting, but now we are actually familiar with some of the concepts of academic writing, that we know that we need to be concise, precise, we cannot use words, and etc. And I have some paragraphs on my hand, which has that errors. They are not concise, they have wordiness, they use slang words, and etc. You need to find them, cross them over, and write the paragraph again. And one for group. Work in groups, please. And it's okay if only one of you guys writes at the end. Azalttım. Çok memnunum da biraz daha büyük azaltıp da şeyin altında. Katılmak istedim. Aşağıda istedim. Biraz yanlış konuşuyorum. Müzik istedim.
Can I make that my notice?
Yeah, sure. Burada şeyler var zaten. Bu esas problemleri açtım. İhtiyaç olsa daha.
Looking to